Have you ever wanted to learn one of the most fascinating skills in the world's most popular sport? Well, soccer, otherwise known as football, outside of America, is played by millions across the globe with fan participation even reaching in the billions. And one of, if not the most common things that these players across the globe learn as soon as they start playing soccer is how to juggle a soccer ball. Now, for me, I can't really say that that's one of the first things I learned because I was extremely young when I first started playing. However, my friends and family that come up to me when I'm playing soccer, one of the first things I always ask is, how do I juggle a soccer ball? Now, I've have over 17 plus years in this sport, and it's not a problem for me at all to teach them. And hopefully today, after my step-by-step demonstration, you can learn how to juggle a soccer ball as well. So to begin, in general, let's take a look at some of the expectations and learning that's required when mastering a new skill. So learning something new is always going to be hard, and mastering it is only going to take much, much longer. And learning to juggle a soccer ball is no different, as I've been doing it my whole life and I haven't even mastered it. I still make mistakes and I still struggle with it sometimes. So there are going to be many bumps in the road, and it's going to lead to a lot of frustration and a lot of anger, which can oftentimes lead to you giving up. But therefore, it's important to set expectations and goals so the process can be made much, much easier. And one of these steps to making the process much easier, according to the Harvard Business Review in 2012, is to break up the process of attaining a new skill into much more manageable tasks. Setting small goals and milestones is vital when trying to reach a larger aim. Sometimes our big goals are a bit vague, like for example, I say, I want to be healthier. But I can break this down into much more specific tasks like, I want to run regularly, or I want to be able to run around this park in 20 minutes or less without stopping. So writing these goals down and setting dates to do these by can make it much more simple and easy. And so having several smaller goals can make the whole process a bit easier, and it can also give me a bit of a feeling of success along the way, which can make it much more easier to stay on task and to keep me on track towards the bigger goal. Secondly, another important thing to do while learning a new skill is to reflect along the journey and be more patient. Almost the number one rule is to be more patient. So reflecting during the process of trying to learn and develop a new skill is essential if the skill is going to stick and stay with me. Reflecting allows a person to think the things that they do when they succeed or fail, and they can make adjustments to hopefully improve on the next time. Additionally, talking to someone who has the skill that you're trying to acquire can make it much, much easier to acquire the new skill, because they can offer critical feedback and they can also keep you accountable when trying to work through the process. The last thing to try and remember when learning a new skill is to be patient. The number one rule is to be patient. Often people try to approach a new skill and think that they're going to do overnight, which is not true at all. It's going to take much, much longer. And even Scheffler mentions that it's going to take at least 6 months to do, probably even longer. Now that we have set a base for learning a new skill, let's dive into learning how to juggle a soccer ball, one of the most basic skills in the sport of soccer. So the first thing needed to be done when learning a new skill is preparation, both physical and mental. But after preparation is done, we can get to practicing the new skill. So, as we discussed earlier, learning a new skill can be incredibly challenging and can test one's mental toughness. Therefore, it's important to be mentally prepared when beginning to learn something new. So, according to Brewer in 2019, quote, just as a warm-up consisting of sampling of physical activities relevant to a given sport enhances physical readiness to to perform in that sport. A warm-up consisting of sampling of sport-related mental activities, particularly those associated with sport performance benefits, could enhance psychological readiness for sport performance. So basically, in a sense, he's saying that mental preparation is just as important as physical preparation. Secondly, it is equally as important to be physically as prepared as well. Stretching should be done before, so you aren't stiff and reduces the chance of injury. Also, you need to make sure you have the right materials, such as an inflated soccer ball in this case, as I'm demonstrating how to juggle a soccer ball. And you could also use soccer shoes or any other type of shoe. But if you don't have any shoes, barefoot could work too, but it'll be more complicated.
So now I'm going to teach you guys, just like how I teach my friends and siblings that ask me how to juggle. I'm going to teach you guys in 5 easy steps how to juggle a soccer ball. So the first step is going to be, you want to place the ball above head height, about right above head height. You want to drop it and just kick it up with 1 foot. Head shaky, but that's okay. But once you get that down, you should in about a couple minutes. The second step is going to be the same thing as step 1. Place the ball like slightly above head height. You want to drop it down, but instead of kicking it up with just 1 foot, kick it up with 2 feet. Step 3, however, can be a little more complicated. Might take you a little bit. But you want to do the same things as step 1 and 2, but kick it up twice with both feet. So one more time in step 2. And then step 4, however, will be a little tricky. It might take a bit longer than steps 1, 2, and 3. You want to do the same thing though. Place the ball above head height, drop it down, and get 5 juggles with each foot. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step 5, now, once you get that down, steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's pretty simple. You just got to keep repeating steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 until you can do however many as you can, really. And once you get comfortable with that, you can move on to more complicated things, such as like popping it up with just your foot, just like this, or even using your thighs and other parts of your body, like your head.
So now, to conclude, I would like to review what I've discussed and what I've demonstrated. So we looked at what goes into learning a new skill, the expectations and goals, and also what even learning a new skill may look like. Like for example, what I demonstrated, juggling a soccer ball. The number one thing I want you to take away from this speech is to be more patient when trying to learn a new skill. If you're not patient, that can lead to frustration and anger, and ultimately, it can make you give up, which is not ideal. So please take these tips that I've given you and apply them to wherever you want in life when you're trying to attain a new skill or trying to go through a process. And I'm sure you'll see improvement in absolutely no time and you'll be successful.